This review is made possible by Toyota of Naperville. Toyota of Naperville is the largest Toyota dealer in Illinois with hundreds of new and used vehicles in their inventory. Visit www.toyotaofnaperville.com or in person at 1488 West Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2019 Toyota Camry LE. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline 4
And down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission.
If you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive where I'll be writing a complete article about the Toyota Camry. So let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline 4. Well, it's the same engine that's actually in the 2019 RAV4. If you guys didn't see that review, I did a full review of the RAV4, and this is the same engine. Like I said in the RAV4 review, it's a quite peppy 2.5 liter. So let's see what the 2.5 liter can do in the Camry. Not bad. It's not a speed demon by any means, but it will get you where you need to go. On-ramps, off-ramps will not be an issue. Passing people on the highway won't be an issue either. Technology has really progressed to the point where 2.5 liter inline 4s, they actually are not bad. They're not bad at all. Now, this is the lower trim model of the Camry. There is a V6 option, which has a 3.5 liter, which, if you'd like to see the 3.5 liter in action, I did review a Tacoma with that 3.5 liter in it. With that, you would get more torque, better acceleration, but with the 2.5 liter, you get better fuel economy. And honestly, in this day and age, that's a pretty hefty perk.
Now, like I said, the Camry has an 8-speed automatic transmission.
You can scoot it over and shift the gears yourself, put it up, down, or into sport mode, and that sort of thing. Last but not least, the Camry is front-wheel drive. Now, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two analog gauges. On the left is my tachometer, and on the right is my speedometer. Inside the speedometer, you have your fuel gauge, and inside the tachometer, you have your coolant temperature gauge. Really, that's all you really need in modern day. I still prefer having a tachometer, so it's nice that this car comes with one. Then in the middle, you get a screen which is displaying a bunch of different stuff I can cycle through here. Messages, settings, MPG, average mile an hour, lane keep assist, which we'll be talking about. The LE doesn't come with lane keep assist, but this car has it optioned. And that sort of stuff can all be viewed through the center screen. On the steering wheel, I have a bunch of buttons, but it's not too cluttered. I have my options for selecting that center screen. I have volume control, Bluetooth phone, my lane keep assist button, and that sort of thing. To the left, I have automatic brights. So what that means is that when that is engaged, if the car doesn't sense anything in front of you, if you're on a country road or something and it doesn't sense anything in front of you, it will automatically turn on the brights. And when it does sense something in front of you, it'll automatically turn them back off. That's a really cool feature. It is not standard on the LE. That is another option. This car is pretty much base model except for a couple of options. It has those auto brights that I just said, it has lane keep assist, and it has cross traffic monitoring. Those are the options on this Camry. But going back to talking about what's on my left, we have the trunk popper button, gas cap, and traction control off. In the center, we do get a touchscreen radio, which is super nice, very easy to see, very visible. The volume knob feels good. All of the buttons are very easy to see, very easy to touch, very easy to use, which I think is a very big deal, but it is a touch screen. The center screen is also where you do get a backup camera. All cars after 2018 are required to have backup cameras. And the one in the Camry actually is really nice. It has those lines so you can kind of see where you're going and what you are going to do. Down below the radio, you get climate control options, which I actually really like because they're sort of integrated into the whole thing. It looks like one giant unit, but it's still simplistic in the fact that it's very easy to tell the difference, but it looks clean. It looks purposefully together, if that makes sense. Then down below that, you get your aux and USB inputs, and then a cigarette lighter, 12 volt, 120 watt. Then of course you get the shifter. Like I said, you can plus minus there, and you get your cup holders. Up above me, I know I normally don't talk about this, but up above me, I do have an SOS button, which is kind of neat. So that will connect you to Toyota's emergency services. Say if you're in an accident or if you get a blowout, you know, and no one's around, that button can come in handy. Now let's talk about the seats. The seats are comfortable. They're cloth seats. They almost feel like a wetsuit almost. I drove a Jeep Wrangler from 2001 that had a similar feeling to it, and honestly, I'm not mad about it. It's comfortable, it's plush, and honestly, I'm a bigger fan of cloth seats than I am of leather seats. But speaking of seats, this is a 4-door, 4-seater, well really 5, but we will do a back seat review. All right, so we are in the back seat of the Camry, and the first thing that you notice is that there is plenty of room back here. It's a big perk of the sedan, and I'll talk about that more in a little bit. You get a ton of room back here, which is super nice. I do have a center console with 2 little cup holders. I have a little cubby hole up here. I guess you could put stuff, but it's real flat, so any acceleration and stuff will fly out of there. Like I said, it's the LE, so it is a lower trim level, so you're not gonna get as many amenities back here. But I do have one-touch automatic windows. Are they one-touch up? No, they're not one touch up, but they are one touch down, which is still nice. And yeah, overall, just really spacious in here. Like I always say, I'm 5'10", 5'11". I have plenty of headroom, and I have plenty of knee room too. I mean, I'm not even touching the seat, and that's where it was while I was driving it. So plenty of room. So the Camry is the larger sedan of Toyota's lineup. Obviously, the Corolla is going to be more of a compact sedan, while the Camry is their larger version. And honestly, with the back seat, that's where you're going to get the most reward for choosing the larger sedan, is really that space back there. You're gonna seat 5 people more comfortably than you will in a Corolla. Now, what's funny is that it seems as though in my life, I can't escape the Camry. My best friend growing up, he had a Camry, and when he got his license, he's 2 years older than me. When he got his license, he'd drive me around in his Camry. He'd drive me home from school every day in his Camry. That Camry was the OG. As a matter of fact, the C fell off the back of the car, so we called it the Amry for obvious comedic reasons. But it doesn't stop there. In 2017, I reviewed a Camry that had been converted into a race car. It had a manual transmission swapped into it, and it had been converted into a race car. Then recently, I drove a 2004 Camry because it only had 20,000 miles on it. Just last week, I drove a Toyota MR2 that had a Camry engine swapped into it. But it doesn't stop there. One of my best friends who lives out in California, she just bought her first car, her first big purchase, and it was a Toyota Camry. I have a theater class with 2 of my really good friends, Jake and Mark. They both drive Camrys. It seems as though everywhere I turn, someone has a Camry or someone has a story about a Camry. And thinking about it, because I thought about it when I was coming over to this review, I thought, why can't I escape the Camry? Why can't I just get away from it? It's not a bad car, it's just why does it keep popping up? And the reason is because these things are reliable. These cars rather, are the bread and butter of cars. And I mean bread and butter in 2 senses. One, in the fact that they're a sure bet. When you buy a Camry, you know it's gonna work. You're not gonna have that many issues. That's why I drove that MR2 with the Camry engine. The previous engine wasn't making enough power and was too hard to get parts for, so the owner put a Camry engine into it so it was easy to get parts for and easy to maintain. So this is bread and butter because it's basic, it's easy to maintain, it's well thought through, but it's also bread and butter because it's so malleable and you can use it for so many different things. I mean, how many recipes have butter in them? How many recipes require some form of bread? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say most recipes. And so yeah, the Camry, like we've seen on this channel, can be a race car. The car I reviewed 2 years ago, it was a legitimate race car. The MR2 that I drove is a sports car. It's very fun on the back roads. It's amazing. The 2004 Camry that I reviewed that only had 20,000 miles, it was a really nice car and an awesome screenshot of what it was like in 2004, of what cars were like in 2004. Because most cars that I review from 2004 have already been beat to death. They have well over 100,000 miles. And so I do my best to try to review them, but it's not the most honest opinion of what they were like when they came off the factory. But that Camry was. That Camry was just what it was like when it rolled off the assembly line. And so the Camry is so malleable and so fluid almost. And like I said, it's a sure bet. Am I saying that a Camry is perfect for every single situation all the time? No, of course not. No car is perfect every single time for every situation. But what I am saying is that this is the Germex of cars, and it works 99.999% of times. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something about the 2019 Toyota Camry LE. If you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshall.com/overdrive. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.